Welcome back to another episode of Trucker Talk. Now, today's episode is different. There's no guest, there's no interview, no debate. Today, I'm sitting down with the person I can't run from myself. Sometimes we get so busy living that we forget to check in with the person in the mirror. So today, I'm asking myself the questions I've been avoiding, celebrating the progress I've made, and being honest in where I still need to grow. So, looking in the mirror, question to myself: who are you today compared to the man you were 5 or 10 years ago? Whew. Man, that question and who I was 5 to 10 years ago, the person that I was 5 to 10 years ago, I don't even know if I knew who I was because even at that time, I was into the party scenes, the chasing whatever I was looking for just to come up empty handed and disappointed. And I'm not ashamed of it, but like I was telling a friend of mine, I said in 2023, the year after my father died in 22, September the 8th of 22. But the year of 23, and I'm not ashamed of it, I drank the whole year. I don't even remember the year. I asked myself, how did I start a business? How did I run a business? And if you all don't know, I had a pressure washing business. But at the time, I was dealing with grief. I was dealing with grief, or I've been dealing with grief. What I learned for myself is I've been dealing with grief since December the 4th of 2019. That's when a good friend of mine, Harold, Wayne Sexton, passed away. I didn't know anything about grief. Nobody talked to me about grief. So as I go into 2020, COVID, I think I was just numb. I think I was numb the whole 2020. So here it is, 2026. And I'm reflecting on even who I was when Harold was alive. I can go back to 2016, 2017. At that time, I was working at Cisco in Knoxville. So I was chasing the money. I was just chasing money at that time. I was chasing money. And I think one of my hard lessons, I left Coca-Cola for Cisco, and people told me that when I was at Cisco, I was kind of cranky. I was short, and I never understood it until I got away from that company. And what it was the stress, it was the anxiety, the pressure, and that changed who I was as a person. So in 2022, when I left Cisco and I went to Taylor Lubricants, people said, "Man, you have changed your demeanor. Everything has changed about you." And I never realized that even a job, a relationship, the people you keep around, that can have an impact on who you are as a person. So as I sit here today, I got away from a lot of people. And as I'm sitting back and I'm observing, looking at people's character, their morals, their principles, I'm learning a lot about myself, and I'm learning a lot about others as I sit back and observe from the cut. So have I become a better man? In my personal opinion, yes, I have, because in 2025, I learned how to forgive. I started going to therapy in 2024. And I think that's when I had my epiphany. After 2023, early 2024. And I always say this, George Shine, thank you. Love you, brother. He sent me that text message. It was in January. And at the time, let me explain to you all. At the time, I was going into my second year, my pressure washing business. I just bought a motorcycle in July of 2023. And here I am, I'm sitting in my big house. And I'm like, man, I have all this stuff. Didn't mean nothing. It didn't mean Nathan. So I had to learn that it doesn't matter how much money you got and all the other things of this world. It doesn't matter. If you're not mentally stable, if you're not spiritually grounded or rooted, if you don't feed yourself positive affirmations and positive stuff, you are going to get sucked into this world. That's what happened to me. I got wrapped up in the money, the materialistic things. That don't mean Nathan. So I am a better man today as I stand. Have I learned from my mistakes? Yes, I have, because when it comes to at the beginning of 2024, I was so focused on a relationship. I was like, man, I got to have a relationship. Everybody's in a relationship, blah, 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 blah. Right. So I learned the hard way that it doesn't matter how pretty somebody is or it doesn't matter. But again, their mental state of mind, that plays a factor in the relationship, in the communication, and in everything else. So they can be beautiful, the most beautiful person on this earth. But if their character, their morals and principles are all out of whack, I don't care how pretty you are. I don't even want to be with. I'm not going to stay with you. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are. I'm not going to stay with you. I don't need no arm candy or whatever they call it. I don't need that. So I learned that the hard way, and I had to let somebody go. But I had to learn. It wasn't even about that. So, but I was chasing relationships, and so now I'm at a point, and people think I'm short and dry, but I'm like, no. When I realized the type of people that are on this earth and the type of what's out there in this world, I'm just, as long as I am investing in myself, investing in my mother, my son, my sister, my siblings, that's what's important to me. And I say my legacy when I leave this earth, this podcast is going to be my legacy, because this podcast is going to be my legacy, because I can't undo. This is one thing I learned. I can't undo the hurt that I've done to certain people, certain individuals. I can't do that. All I can say is I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And I can forgive those that's done wrong to me. But what I can do is this day forward, or even in 2024, when I started making changes, is be that person that I want to be. Be a good son, be a good father, be a good brother, be a good friend, be a good coworker. My son said, and Mahatma Gandhi said it. It says, be the change you want to see in the world. But my son, he made the statement. He said, Daddy, just be the change you want to see. And I said, what? So I had to Google that and look that one up. Thank you, Malachi. So, am I someone my younger self will be so proud of? Absolutely. Because the person that I am today, I'm telling y'all, I could have warned the 20-year-old Matthew, the 25-year-old Matthew, but also I had to make those mistakes. I had to make those bad choices to learn on my own. But I still would have been like, hey, you don't want to do that. You don't want to date that person. You don't want to go to that house. I would have told my younger self that. I would have, but I'm grateful for who I am today. So now the hard questions. I'm gonna take a deep breath on this one. What are you still carrying that you need to let go of? Old hurt, regrets, guilt, anger, fear. So me, as far as I think one of my most biggest struggles in life, and I'm not even, it's not friendships, it's relationships. And as far as old hurt, I've let go of old hurt. Regrets, I've let go of all my regrets. Anger, I started forgiving people in 2025. Fear, I'm at a point, I tell people fear is false evidence appearing real. So I've been through so much and so many things that I I'm not one of those people to be like, okay, what can happen next? Because I've sat and cried by myself, I've drank by myself, I've done all those things. And one of the things that I've learned is when my anxiety hits, I need to label those emotions and label what I'm feeling. Not just go have a bottle, not just go sleep with somebody or do something that brings me pleasure or makes me feel good. I had to learn that is not good. Anybody else would tell you, hey, that's good. It work. It doesn't work. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. It does not work. I've been there, done that. I'm grateful that I've gotten away from learning those hard lessons. And I'm not ashamed to say that. This is just me being real with myself. So are those things protecting you or holding you back? Okay. So accountability. Let's be honest. Where can you do better? Your health, your attitude, your relationships, your finances, your faith, your discipline. And I answer that question for you all again. Relationships, I can do better in relationships, but my friendships are the best relationships that I've had. But I think one of my struggles is when you meet somebody, because I think the dating game and nowadays this world is just different. Because at my age, and I'm 41, I'll be 42 in a couple of weeks. The people at my age, they're either grandmothers or they're still mothers, or they have been married for, let's say, 10 to 15 years and they just gotten out of a divorce. I say that wrong. They've been married for 10 to 15 years and they just gotten out of a divorce. And one thing I learned about when you decide to date somebody that just got out of a divorce is all of that trauma, all of those things that their husband or whoever put their ex-husband put them through, that falls into your relationship. I didn't know. I'm thinking, and I've talked to some individuals, I'm not going to say their names, and they've been to therapy and this, and that. I still go to therapy, but when they tell me that, I'm thinking, oh, well, they're working on themselves, but your actions will always speak louder than your words. And just the way they've acted and just their demeanors and what they do, I'm just like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't handle this. So I step away because again, my position where I'm at in life, I don't have to tolerate nothing. People don't understand. There's people that's in marriages and relationships that's been 25, 30, 50, 40 years. They tolerate it and you have a choice. But if you choose to stay, you choose to stay. But you can complain about it all day long and not do nothing about it. But everybody have their reasons for why they're staying. It's either the kids, it's either finances, or they don't want to be alone. And there's a whole lot of other reasons that I didn't list, but those are the ones that come off the top of my head. So me, nobody's coming to save you. What changes are you willing to start making today? With me, my changes are, as I'm still working on my spiritual side, my health, my mental health, my my relationships, my friendships. I'm working on all of those things. And I'm still working on it. And even starting today, I can get better. I can always get better. So gratitude. Before you focus on what you don't have, what do you already have? You're still here. You survived difficult seasons. You have lessons that money can't buy. You have met people who helped shape your life. You still have another opportunity today. Giving myself grace. You've made mistakes. Yes. You failed. Yes. You've been hurt. Yes. But did you quit? Nah. Then give yourself credit. Growth doesn't happen overnight. So looking forward, I'm asking myself this question. What kind of man do you want to become? More patient, more disciplined, more peaceful, more present, and more intentional? I would say I would like to be all of those five. I want to be more patient, more disciplined, more peaceful, more present, and more intentional, because time is the most valuable thing that we have. I don't care who you are, how much money you got, you can never buy enough time. Time is the most valuable asset we have. Money's great, money's good. But that time, we never know how much time we got left. Don't forget that. What can you start doing this week that future you will thank you for? Let's see. I can reach out to more people. I can be more encouraging, more inspiring. I can just be the best version of myself that I need to be. And it's not acting, it's not pretending, but be my best self, the best version that I know to be, but be genuine and be intentional. That's what I can do. So the final conversation, this is me talking to me. I know you've been through some things. I know there were days you wanted to quit. I know you questioned yourself. But look at you. You're still standing, Matthew. So stop doubting yourself. Keep showing up. Keep healing. Keep growing. Keep believing that the best version of you is still ahead. So in closing, if you're listening to this, I hope it encourages you to have your own conversation with yourself. Sometimes the answers we're looking for aren't out in the world. They're already inside of us. We just have to be willing to listen. Thank you again for listening to Trucker Talk 10-4. Please like, share, follow, and subscribe. Until next time, take care of your mind, your heart, and your soul. And don't forget to check in with the person in the mirror. 10-4, y'all.